What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to take a look at the top 10 best teams for a Cosmic Crucible offense. Now, the first 6 are going to be my favorite teams, the other 4 are teams that other people use. I don't really like them, I just find them quite boring. And they are also going to be in terms of the flexibility they have, the value they bring for offense, and some of them they're just better on defense. That's why they are at the end of the list. Either way, each of these teams is going to be quite powerful, and it's going to help you to the last few weeks of the season 3 of Cosmic Crucible. There was 1 month left, and now without any previous announcement, data mines or anything like that, they just cut off the end of the season by 2 weeks. So hopefully that's going to be a good thing, and we're going to talk about how you can win with these new teams on Cosmic Crucible when the season 4 starts. But for now, let's take a look at these top 10 teams that you can use to finish very strong on the season 2 and make sure that you get as many rewards as possible. The rewards are not super impactful. I hope this is something they update in the near future, but we have to wait and see. Okay, so as always, if you like the information on this video, make sure to share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. Make sure to smash that like button. Okay, so once again, they cut the season 3 by 2 weeks. It was 1 month left, now you only have 2 weeks. And that means you're going to have some kind of Tournament 32, and then we'll have the season 4. Okay, with that said, let's take a look at these teams, and I hope you guys like these teams. I use these teams all the time, I find them quite useful. And this is the teams that I use between Masters 1 and Masters 2. If you want to get Masters 3 or Grand Masters, you just have to put more levels on these teams, because yes, the levels from level 90 to level 95 are very impactful, and most of my characters, they are between like level 91 to 93. So that's pretty much it. If you get him to level 95, the difference is going to be huge. So it's up to you to decide if it's going to be worth the investment or not. Okay, so let's get started. And as always, before that, quick reminder, check out the channel, new videos every day. Tomorrow we are going to have information on how to obtain Sylvie. Yes, we already have some data mines with that. We're just going to make sure that everyone has enough time to watch all the videos, because people say I just post too many videos, so let's give some breathing room for people to catch up. Either way, we have the Pestilence Scourge is still going on. This is the last Scourge that you have, so if you want to get 1.5 million points on difficulty 8, there is a run right there. I asked around if people want to see difficulty 10 just on the first 4 nodes, so you don't have to invest on Web Warriors. No response on that, so let's skip that. And for new players, unfortunately my account is too big to make new player content. We have the Blitz teams that you need for better rebuild, and if you want to start Dark Dimension with some kind of guide, we have all the nodes breakdown. We have the first node, the second node, and we're gonna start Global and Cosmic right after, as I'm very close to finishing my last character. Okay, so let's get started. So first team, I don't think it's gonna be a surprise. We're gonna have Masters of Evil, and I don't like what other people do. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this mainstream concept that you have to use Masters of Evil on Wakanda. I think that's super dumb, because Masters of Evil is one of those Swiss army type of teams, Swiss knife situation, that they can pretty much break any team on defense. Especially if you pair them up with Apocalypse or Doctor Doom or Quicksilver or Dormammu or literally anyone. Any character you pair up with the Masters of Evil, they're going to be more stronger depending on the situation, and you can destroy all kinds of teams. It doesn't have to be only Wakanda. We have other options for Wakanda. So if you are wasting your Masters of Evil, the best Cosmic Crucible offensive team, on Wakanda, you are making a big mistake. It's up to you to decide if that's what you like or not. I think it's very dumb to use it, but go ahead. So Masters of Evil, they can also beat Creeping Spiders, they can also beat Unlimited, they can beat Rebirth, they can beat Infinity Watch, they can literally beat any team. We don't have here, but they can also beat Darkhold with Quicksilver or with Apocalypse or with Doctor Doom. It doesn't really matter, they literally beat everything, and that's why I think they are a waste if you are using them against Wakanda. Okay, so in my opinion, this is the best team because once again, it has the most value in all the rooms and it's the most flexible. Let's take a look at the second team, which is my favorite team. One of my favorites, Darkhold. Yes, Darkhold is still great. Even with all the nerfs, if you get him to level 95, if you have the right position, if you have the right ISO weight, this team is going to destroy pretty much anything also in Cosmic Crucible. They're also great for defense, so I understand why some people would use them on defense. I just prefer to use them on offense because, yeah, they also destroy Wakanda, and you can get some pretty good scores with Wakanda, especially because usually Wakanda is not that big, and people are not using M'Baku, but M'Baku is very problematic in Cosmic Crucible defense, but thankfully people don't know that, and they just don't use him, so yeah. Darkhold, still very strong, beats Infinity Watch very easily, beats Wakanda, beats Mirror Match Darkhold. Depending on the setup, they can also beat Unlimited, they can also beat any other teams, Rebirth easily. And once again, we have this flexible spot, the flex spot, where you can use Apocalypse, Doctor Doom, Omega Red, Dormammu, Quicksilver. You can use pretty much any character on this last spot, and it's going to make huge value when it comes to a specific match. Other team that has a lot of flexibility is Gamma. Gamma is still quite great. I think it's a big mistake to use Gamma on defense. A lot of people use Gamma on defense. Huge mistake. Because you can easily counter their setup. And especially if you have the wrong position on Gamma on defense, there is the right position on Gamma on defense, and there is the wrong position. And because most people use the wrong position, you are better off just using Gamma on offense. Once again, we have this flex spot where you can use Dormammu, Apocalypse, Doctor Doom, pretty much any character you want, and depending on which character you pair up with, you're gonna have huge results. The character you want to remove, as you can see, is the original Hulk, because he doesn't do anything for the team. The other characters give drain and extra HP, and that's very important. So Gamma, they can beat Unlimited, which is great. Then we have Infinity Watch, we have Rebirth, and once again, depending on which characters you pair up, you might have huge efficiency with Gamma. Once again, it matters that you know how to play with these characters, and you know exactly which characters to pair up with. I've only put two options, but you can pretty much put anyone here. And even Nova is quite great with Gamma. So this is definitely one of my favorite teams, because once again, you can use it to counter so many teams, including the very powerful Unlimited, if you see them on defense. Okay, now we have a team that I like, but it's not one of the best teams. It's okay, it's nice against specific matchups. Creeping Spiders, Gamma, Rebirth, New Warriors are going to destroy them. It's going to annihilate them. Now, New Warriors, they have a problem that if they don't have enough levels, they might struggle a little bit, because the abilities are going to get blocked or resisted and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you have the right ISO weight and you are using the correct position on the team in order to benefit the most out of their abilities. We had talked about that in the past. We have some important matchups: Creeping Spiders, Gamma, and Rebirth. Some of these teams are used on offense as well. That's why sometimes they lose a little bit of value. And when they face other teams like Darkhold or Infinity Watch or Unlimited, yes, Unlimited, characters that spawn with Safeguard and Immunity, then you can struggle a little bit. They can still beat it, but if you want them to beat Darkhold, Infinity Watch, and Unlimited, they have to be maxed out 700 stars, 7 yellow stars, and also level 95, otherwise they are not going to be able to do it. If you have them that big, they are quite amazing. If not, it's not the case. And unfortunately, you don't have any kind of hybrid situation. You could possibly replace Firestar for Apocalypse, for example, but only on very specific situations, so it's not something I recommend. Okay, let's take a look at the next team. We have Avengers Express. Some people might know part of this team as the Walking Hate or the Zombie Rush. We have different names, but I think the best name is going to be the Avengers Express, because it's all about Nick Fury and Captain Sam, and they are both Avengers. And that makes sense, right? Now, this team is quite great because we have so many slots where we can set up any characters we like. Kestrel, Dormammu, Shang-Chi, Apocalypse, Ultron. You can use pretty much any characters here. Undying also with Hela. quite great, and they destroy a lot of good teams with great efficiency. So they beat Unlimited fairly easy depending on which character you set up. Infinity Watch they can also beat, especially if you are using Apocalypse on your team. They can beat Rebirth very easily. You can do massive punch-ups on Rebirth with Dormammu or with Castle, depending on which enemies you are facing. And they are much better at countering the Rebirth than Dead Seed. A lot of people still using Dead Seed against Rebirth. Guys, those are old news. We have been talking about this team, the Zombie Rush and Avengers Express, for like 3 months. But people are not paying attention. Finally, after the end, as the season are ending, people are finally waking up to the fact that this team is so strong against Rebirth with massive punch-ups, which is something that Dead Seed unfortunately can't do, especially if we are facing one of those versions with Zemo. Okay, let's move on to the next team, and this is my newest favorite team that is quite surprising on the amount of damage output they do, but it depends on which character you pair up. So we have the Nowhere team, and I'm gonna be straight right away with you. Cosmo is trash, to don't say other word. Cosmo is very bad, and I don't recommend building up Cosmo a lot, especially because he uses the same unique as Apocalypse, and I think it was made on purpose to be a bait to make you waste your gear on Cosmo and then don't have for Apocalypse, so then you have to buy the centerpiece uniques. Anyway, ignore Cosmo. You can pair up on this team Star-Lord, the original one, yes, the tech one. Make sure you put him next to Thor, so Thor does the ultimate first rather than the special. Even that special is quite strong, the ultimate is a lot better. And on this slot that we had from Cosmo, we can pair up Dormammu, Apocalypse, Quicksilver, Ultron. Yes, Ultron with the Nowhere team is actually very strong. And as I mentioned before, the Masters of Evil, they also have that free slot where you can replace certain characters. If you use Ultron here, he's going to be quite strong because of the turning wind and the amount of buffs that he provides to this team. If you're using Apocalypse, this is major counter against Infinity Watch or Rebirth. They don't start with positive effects, or they don't start with Safeguard, and then you can crush them with Trauma, and then Nova will kill everyone. And they cannot revive. Some content creators out there, Porkypad, he doesn't know that Nova, if they kill with the ultimate, they cannot revive, or at least until very recently, they knew about this. But yes, if you pair up Nova with some kind of offense up and defense down from the Infinity War Thor, the amount of damage is massive. You do like 1.5 million damage with his ultimate, which is insane, and all these characters that revive will instantly disappear. They can also counter Gamma, but it's like in war. They counter Gamma, it's okay. As long as you don't touch Red Hulk, you are fine. And if you decide to touch Red Hulk, make sure you blind him or ability block him and rush on that She-Hulk to make it easier for you. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the 4 teams that are great for offense, but I don't like to use. I think they are just too cheap, and they are better off on defense because they bring you more value on defense, as the people are forced to use hard counters against them, and then you'll make mistakes on the other rooms. So the first team I like is Eternals, of course. Eternals with Apocalypse is very strong. They destroy Unlimited, they destroy Rebirth, they destroy Infinity Watch. They are very strong. Depending on the team you have, you can also destroy Creeping Spiders. I don't remember the setup very well. I think you have to use Hela plus your own Weaver and so on. They can do a lot of matches. They can counter a lot of teams. Just don't use them against Darkhold, which is a big problem. But yeah, you can get some great efficiency with these guys if you have them big enough. Right now, they are not like the most recommended investment because of Dark Dimension 6 and also because of the Mystic raids. So they might not be a priority in terms of gearing up, but they can give you some great results in terms of efficiency. Once again, if you are pairing them up with the right characters like Emma Frost, Jubilee, Apocalypse, or Cable, or something else that you find convenient. Okay, let's take a look at the other team that a lot of people use on offense, but I don't like. It's Dead Seed. Dead Seed has a few matches that they can win. Dead Seed mirror match, yay. Infinity Watch, they can sometimes beat it, but it's not good. This is why I don't like to use them. The efficiency is quite trash. And if they are hard focus, your Dark Beast and your Archangel is pretty much game over for you. They can also counter Rebirth sometimes. This is why I don't like to use them. They are just not a great team on offense. And they are heavily dependent on using one additional option that gives them some extra value. Psylocke is okay in terms of survivability, but in terms of killing people, they are just way too slow. And because they are so slow, you are exposed to more abilities of the enemies. So overall, it's an okay team. They need massive investment, and I don't think that massive investment reflects right away in Cosmic Crucible, unless you have some of these additional options, and that's why I don't use them on offense. Okay, one of the last teams we have, it's going to be the Unlimited X-Men. They are quite great. They pretty much beat any team, especially if you are using one of those secondary options. If you are using Red Guardian, make sure you are using the right position on the characters. You want to make sure that Gambit, for example, is applying offense down to himself, so after you can flip it into offense up, and that's going to be great. So if you are using any of these additional options on Unlimited, make sure you are using the right position, because it definitely changes the position depending on which character you are using. Which teams can Unlimited counter? They can counter pretty much anything. Darkhold, Creeping Spiders, Infinity Watch, Rebirth. I don't know. They can pretty much counter anything. There are very few teams that they cannot counter. And most of the times, if they cannot counter, it's because your team is too small, or because you have the wrong position, wrong ISO weight, or you just don't know how to play with them properly against that specific team. So yeah, Unlimited is still very strong. Because of all these bonuses, and because they also spawn with Safeguard and Immunity and Evade, I prefer to use them on defense plus one extra character, and I get more value out of them like this, especially because I don't want to invest on them, as their only value is in Cosmic Crucible, and in other game modes not so much. Finally, we have the last team that I'm gonna present to you of these top 10 best Cosmic Crucible teams that you can use to finish the Season 3 very, very strong, and it's gonna be Tangled Web. This is another team that it's great on defense. That's why I don't like to use them on offense. It's just because they are so good on defense. And if you pair them up on offense with Apocalypse, Doctor Doom, Omega Red, Emma Frost, anything like that, you can counter very powerful teams on defense like Infinity Watch, Darkhold, Rebirth. You could counter also other Creeping Spiders or Tangled Webs on defense. And I think overall, I mean, they are great, right? You have some flexibility, as we have so many free slots to pair up to make sure you have high efficiency. But if you are using any of these last 4 teams that I mentioned, you are gravely compromising your defense. And yes, you want to be a little bit more focused on offense, but if you compromise your defense too much, then people are just going to streamroll it through it, and that's not going to be a good thing overall. So once again, Tangled Web, quite great, but make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because then your teams can be easily compromised. Okay, that's it. That's the top 10 best teams for the last 2 weeks of Cosmic Crucible. This was very surprising that they cut the new season in 2 weeks. And as far as we know from the developer's mouth, we are going to get a Tournament 32 after this, and then Season 4 will start. So that will be some exciting times. On the last Tournament 32, I won all 5 matches. It was very exciting, and I hope to see you guys on YouTube and on Twitch when I'm live streaming, when I'm doing these matches, so you can see what a good Tournament 32 player can do with in terms of flexibility and theory crafting and so on the spot, right? Because theory crafting after 3 months, it's pretty much irrelevant, and that's why these tournaments for 1 week are so exciting. But that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.